Hello, Ovia News viewers. How are you? I hope you're healthy and well. As the Ovia News team, we continue to share developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Soon, we will present an incredible Ukrainian operation beyond the front lines. As you know, one of the most significant and remarkable advantages of the Ukrainian Armed Forces during this war was their unmanned aerial vehicles. The ongoing presence of these vehicles in the field intensified pressure on the Russian armed forces. The situation for the forces remains very challenging, with no apparent resolution in sight for the Russian armed forces and defense units. I emphasize sole ution because recent reports indicate ongoing drone attacks by the Ukrainian armed forces. It's been noted that in recent days, Ukrainian armed forces drones targeted and destroyed a vital oil facility, a significant blow to Russia. Allegedly, the damage to the facility is substantial. So what are the implications of this? Let's delve into the latest developments regarding the recent attacks by the Ukrainian armed forces. Before we proceed with our report, I'd like to issue a quick reminder. As the Ovia News team, we consistently provide updates on the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to stay updated with our daily reports. You can also support me and my team by using the Super Thanks button below the videos. Thank you for your support. Let's start if you are ready. The war between Russia and Ukraine continues unabated, and it appears it will persist for some time. We will thoroughly cover this ongoing conflict in our reports. The United States of America has recently approved a new support package for the Ukrainian armed forces, which is expected to significantly impact the situation in the days ahead. Despite prolonged periods of limited support, the Ukrainian armed forces have displayed remarkable resilience and dealt significant blows to the Russian armed forces. The situation is poised to undergo further changes with this new support package. With the arrival of support, losses for the Russian army are expected to escalate further. Meanwhile, the successes of the Ukrainian armed forces will continue to highlight their strategic operations. Adding to this, another significant blow occurred as unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces were observed once more in the skies of the Russian Federation. It's evident that the air dominance of the Russian Federation has been notably diminished, rendering the airspace considerably impenetrable for Ukrainian drones. The Ukrainian armed forces are leveraging this situation effectively. The attacks launched by the Ukrainian armed forces are not only detrimental to Russia in one aspect, but also inflict heavy losses on both the Russian economy and its military. The escalation of these losses undoubtedly carries significant short-term consequences. We have consistently highlighted this point. Today, we will delve into an issue that poses a critical problem for the Russian economy. As is known, regions of the Russian Federation, particularly in the southwest, have been repeatedly targeted by the Ukrainian forces. As a result, economic activities in these regions have been significantly disrupted. Despite numerous warnings, an oil production facility in Beros was hit due to a failure to implement necessary measures. According to reports, the operation in question was conducted at night by unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces. Information obtained from regional sources indicates that the UAVs successfully evaded detection. The Ukrainian armed forces managed to evade detection from the Russian raiders by flying at low altitudes. Experts had previously warned that the Russian army's radars needed updating, otherwise the Ukrainian armed forces would easily overcome them. However, it seems that the Russian armed forces did not take any measures in this regard. During this night, the oil facility in Beros was successfully targeted by the unmanned vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces. Images of the moments in question were also published. It is reported that the following statements were used in the footage. What is this? Explosions. There are 6 explosions now. Explosions continue. The governor of the Banz region also made statements on the subject. Regional governor stated that the air defense managed to destroy several of the unmanned vehicles launched by the enemy. However, we could not prevent all of them. Unfortunately, there are hits and there is damage, but there are no casualties. So, according to reports, unmanned vehicles launched by the Ukrainian armed forces targeted not only oil facilities but also some of Russia's strategic command centers and facilities. According to information from regional sources, during the multi-directional unmanned aerial vehicle attacks launched by the Ukrainian Armed Forces, power plants and transformers were also targeted, with some of them being hit. Today, it was reported that there were numerous explosions and power outages in the region. This attack by the Ukrainian Armed Forces is of critical importance. The Ukrainian army continues to effectively utilize its capacity to harm Russia, especially amidst interruptions in support. This clearly indicates the potential scenarios that will arise when support is provided. With the further intensification of such attacks by the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the situation in the region will become even more challenging for Russia. Russia is particularly apprehensive about scenarios involving support for Ukraine. This uneasiness is expected to increase in the days to come. With their support, the Ukrainian army will now confront the Russian army. Earlier this month, the Ukrainian Armed Forces executed an incredible operation, striking another facility vital to the Russian economy. This attack took place in the Taran region of Russia. Unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, which departed from Ukraine's borders and traveled approximately 700 miles unhindered, targeted the Russian oil refinery in Tatarstan. The Russian Federation faces significant challenges in protecting its territory. The economic blockade persists as long as the war continues. These issues will persist, and although Vladimir Putin, the head of the state of the Russian Federation, is cornered due to these issues, he still has not found an effective solution. In the coming days, economic problems in Russia and the Russian Federation will escalate further, particularly as attacks on vital economic resources for Russia increase. Of course, the Russian people are also affected by these problems. Finally, according to the information published by the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine on April 24, 2024, under the heading Losses of the Russian Occupiers in Ukraine, 880 eliminated personnel, 1 tank, 12 armored combat vehicles, 43 artillery, 2 multiple launch rocket systems, 2 air defense systems, 32 UAVs, 47 vehicles and fuel tanks, 8 special equipment were destroyed. The Russian people must mobilize against Putin, but will this happen? Only time will tell. What do you think? How do you anticipate the support for the Ukrainian Armed Forces will impact the front line? How do you assess the drone capabilities of the Ukrainian Armed Forces? Will they carry out more attacks on Russian territory? Do you expect the problems associated with the Russian economy to escalate? How will the Russian people react to the current situation? Specify it in your comments because we read and care about all your comments.